The man was just going to the bathroom, but he didn't notice that his son behind him had fallen into the ice. And when he turned his head, his son was no longer on the ice.
Son! Son! Son!
Removing the ice but not finding his son, he rushed around looking for him.
Let's go!
This is one of those movies that I pull out and watch every time I lose faith in life. But I have to warn you that those with low tier points must have tissues handy. Carl used to be a popular wrestler, but since his injury, he lost his livelihood, his wife left him, and when he was poor, he could only take his son to join his sister. Along the way, his son was whispering, "I'm hungry," but Carl did not seem to hear. Until the passengers are dispersed, he went to retrieve the leftover food of other people, and his son to eat a full meal. When he found his sister, he realized that his sister's family was also living in poverty, and perhaps his son felt uncomfortable and often asked when his mother would be able to come. Carl always said perfunctorily that he would soon be able to come soon, but he knew in his heart that his wife would never show up again. In order to alleviate the difficulties of his sister's family, Carl rushed to the bar to apply for a security guard, but did not expect the first day of work. Encountered two punks to bully a woman, practiced boxing, he quickly stopped the punks. The woman being beaten is Annie. He kindly sends Annie home, and the two of them talk a lot on the way. After returning home, Carl realized that the original Annie's boyfriend in the past few days in the breakup with her, so tonight she was in a bad mood to go to the bar. But Carl thoughtfully prepared ice for her to put on the wound. Out when inadvertently saw the wall of the photo of her sunshine and self-confidence. In the orca's reflection looks gallant, Carl instantly heartbroken. But at this time, Annie has not completely broken up with her boyfriend. He is not good to stay, but when he left his phone number, and it is this number, became the link between the two destiny of the bond. But did not think that the next day and had an accident. A killer whale suddenly washed ashore, the station where the woman was instantly washed away. Her legs were severely traumatized, blood stained the water, and when she woke up again, she realized that she had lost her legs. Boyfriend immediately left the disabled her. Her mood also completely hit rock bottom. Desperate when Annie tried to call Carl's phone. I did not expect him to really come. An haggard appearance to Carl was very surprised. All body exudes the smell of decay. Obviously only a few days to see only, but as if after a century so long. Carl was heartbroken and wanted to cheer her up, so he opened the heavy curtains to let in some light. But the sensitive Annie thought Carl thought the house stank.
Tu trouves que ça pue?
Un peu.
Hearing the man say so, the woman who lost her legs' eyes instantly red. Once how bright and shiny, now how wretched. The man did not want to let him fall again, so despite her refusal, directly brought her to the beach. Looking at the man in the sparkling sea water to swim, the woman a little heart, she let the man hold her a little bit into the sea. The sea water held up her disabled body, but also to let her negative heart once again live. From that day on, Annie was in a good mood. She couldn't wear her high heels anymore, so she threw them all away, and gave her once favorite dress to her best friend. She began to face her own disability. Disability is no big deal, and at the same time, the bar owner, after learning that Carl had boxed, wanted him to participate in underground boxing, but also promised a generous pay. At this time, Carl, lack of money, lack of serious, naturally will not let go of such a good opportunity to make money, and afraid of him getting hurt, proposed that he can assist him financially, but Carl said that he boxed. The most important thing is that he loves boxing. Just like you love to train the whales, making money is just by the way. Annie was not to be dissuaded, and the next day followed Carl to the ring and watched him wield his passion with abandon. A love that radiated from within and inspired Annie. Carl won the game. He rushed to buy a big toy for his son, and then gave all the rest of the money to his sister. His sister and his son were all acting very happy, which made Carl feel a sense of fulfillment, and he would definitely go to more games in the future as long as he had the chance. After today, Annie took the initiative to find Carl. At this time, she has been installed with prosthetic limbs, once again have the ability to walk alone. The smile on her face is brighter than the sunshine. She became more and more cheerful and self-care, but also insisted on taking the initiative to clean up the dishes. Carl promised her that he would be there anytime Annie called. Annie's heart was full of security, She even went to the balcony and began to review the movements she had once trained the killer whales in anticipation of returning to the stage again one day. After that, she even came to the oceanarium with her former little friend. Once again have a silent interaction. She knew that the accident orca was also unintentional, so she never blamed it. Carl took Annie to meet his sister, who didn't care about her disability at all. Her son even touched her prosthetic leg curiously, and Annie's heart was healed a little bit. And Carl also ushered in the second match. The man wanted to earn a living by boxing, but was beaten by the opponent, did not have any power to fight back. See the imminent defeat, disabled girlfriend step by step towards him, her prosthetic limbs as if it is the best encouragement, so that the man instantly fighting spirit, he madly whacked his opponent, completed a beautiful counterattack. The car Carl hissed excitedly. This victory means that he can let his family live a better life. Carl took Annie to the bar to celebrate. The two people's feelings in the rapid warming obviously do not know a long time. But as if the old husband and wife is tacit understanding, perhaps this is fate. But in this happy moment, the accident suddenly happened. Sister, because of stealing things from the supermarket, was mercilessly fired, unemployed. She immediately felt the pressure doubled. Even to Carl launched a fire. Said if he did not bring his son to fool around here, she would not have to go to steal things to subsidize the family.
Putain, mais t'as quoi dans le crâne? Tu savais pas quoi? Tu savais pas que tu nous foutais dans la merde? Tu savais pas que tu nous foutais sur la paille? Tu savais rien?
Looking at his sister, who was in a full-blown rage, and his brother-in-law, who already had a gun on him, Carl knew it was time for him and his son to go. From then on, he began to train even more frantically, hoping that he could use this to make a good life for both his son and Annie. In his spare time, he accompanied his son to go skiing in the mountains, but he just went to the toilet. His son completely disappeared. When he saw the frozen surface of the lake, the man fumed like crazy and ran over, only to find his son floating under the ice. The man's heart was burning with anxiety, and pounded his fists as hard as he could, and the blood soon stained the ice. But it was as if he couldn't feel the pain. I do not know how long. The ice should finally sound broken. Carl rushed to fish up his son, quickly sent to the hospital for resuscitation. His son's breath gradually stabilized. Carl, however, is still distracted, until the nurse reminded him. He remembered that his hand was also seriously injured. After bandaging up and called to ask about the situation, the gentle voice immediately shattered all of Carl's persistence. He cried into the phone, all the grievances and panic in his heart to say to Anne. The son gradually woke up, and Carl's boxing career is also flourishing. Get the championship to get soft. He finally with his own efforts, so that he cares about people to live an ideal life. Sometimes love is a mutual healing. In the process of love, we gradually abandon the bad self. Embrace the brighter sunshine, mutual encouragement, common progress, hand in hand to build a better future together.